Most of us by now on the spiritual journey understand the very destructive thoughts, programs around shame. But what I want to unpack today is the covert shame that can be hiding within all of us. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi and welcome back to Oaklaw Door. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you. For those that are new to the channel, welcome in. So today I want to start to unpack the covert shame. Now when we talk about shame, I know when I first started my spiritual journey and we were talking about shame, I instantly went to the things that I had done in my life in the moments when I was being less than my best. And for a lot of people, when they think about shame, they think about things that they have done badly, done wrong, been, as in my case, less than their best versions of themselves. And yet, a lot of shame that keeps us stuck, that holds us back, is very covert. It's little aspects of where we've been made to feel shame, usually when we were children, where we have started to build beliefs about ourselves or about our abilities, or that we start to believe people don't want to hear, people don't want to see. It's not good. And it's that comparison, that measurement. And if you're kind of 30 plus, and there are some younger generations as well, but I think the majority of the younger generations, parents have been aware of this. But if you're kind of 30 upwards, then shame, controlling us as children through shaming, was a very normalized modality to use, because the harm of what it actually does wasn't recognized, it wasn't understood. It wasn't because we had terrible parents, it was because what they were doing, what they were doing first wasn't recognized as shaming, and secondly, they didn't understand how profound an impact, dysfunctional impact, shaming can have on a person's psyche. So let's get that out of the way. We don't want to get into the blame game. What we want to do is have the understanding, and to be with that understanding, to be able to look into ourselves and understand what's going on, understand some of our blockages and how we can actually remove them. Because I know when I first started and I was going through the process, okay, do I have any guilt? Do I have any shame? Do I have any negative traits? Well, what are they? What emotion are they attached to? Shame didn't come up in a big way for me, and not because I'm such a righteous person, because I'm not, but because I had lived my life in such a way that I didn't have a huge amount of regrets, and I didn't have, and with that didn't have the shame. And so I used to think, oh, no, there's not really I mean, obviously there was stuff there, everybody has stuff there, but there wasn't any biggies there for me. And so it took me a long time, hence why I'm doing this video, to understand that yes, there was shame there, but it was shame that was placed upon me. It wasn't shame of my own doing. And when I say placed upon me, it was from the little things. And a great example, I spoke to you in a video, oh, excuse me, a few weeks ago. Interesting, and it's coming up. I'm about to discuss the throat chakra, and so the throat chakra is trying to go, don't do that, don't do that. The old paradigm, that energy is still, there's still some to be released. That's okay. I don't beat myself up about it anymore, and I think that's the key, because yes, I have worked on this, and yes, there was massive release, but there's obviously still more to be done. And it's not because you've done it wrong, it's not because I've done it wrong, it's because there's more there. There's more to unpack, there's more to understand, and there's more to release and transmute. Because the example I was going to give you, as I was saying, and I did it in a video a few weeks ago when I was talking about how I had been on a retreat day, and we had used sound. And in that using sound, especially when there was a grounding background mantra being played out, being sung out, I was able to release so much, and there was such a massive shift. Doing this video, when I got the message to do this video, what was brought to mind, and that mind's eye, was when I was a little girl and I used to love singing. And I had a mother that had 4 children in a small home that were not quiet, let's just say that. None of us are quiet. And so, and she had sensitivity to noise. And so every time I would start singing, she would say, put the cat out. And although it was said in jest, what it actually did is it brought shame. And I didn't recognize it for what it was. I didn't recognize it for shame itself. I actually thought that I wasn't a good singer. And I'm, to be honest, not a terribly good singer. I love singing, but I'm not a good singer. Again, that was that shame. It was like your voice shouldn't be heard unless your voice and note perfect. It was that shaming. And that's what I mean about covert shaming, because it's a twofold thing. What I've realized in that one given situation, and I'm using this not to shame another, I'm using it as an example so that you can actually see what's going on within yourselves in different aspects. Maybe it's not your voice, your throat chakra. Maybe it's somewhere else in your body. Maybe it was body shaming done in a covert way. One, I had a mother who was noise sensitive, and so she used to do whatever she could to quieten us all down. So singing very loudly, completely out of key, was not desirable to her. And so she would actually make a joke of it as if my voice was bad, shame me into shutting up. Coupled with a father who was an absolute perfectionist, which again is that double-edged sword, because it gave me the drive and the aspiration to become the person I am today. So it was a blessing, but it also came with its curse, because I, for much of my life, wouldn't push myself to do things unless I had perfected them. And part of the spiritual journey is learning that actually perfection is just in the mind, it's in the ego, and it's a spectrum. What I think is terrible, somebody else would think is good, that somebody else would think, that could be a little better. It's a spectrum, and so it's about us having the confidence and the self-knowledge and self-worth that we're okay with where we're at. And if we want to learn and get better at it, that's fine. That is not wrong. But it becomes a problem when we block ourselves from expressing ourselves authentically. That didn't come out quite right. Authentically, I'll get there, with authenticity. It's combining the two, but it's allowing ourselves to express ourselves authentically without the worry, without the concern that we're not perfect in that. Great example Spirit gave them with me not being able to pronounce the words that I was searching for correctly without a little bit of a breath and a little bit of mindfulness. And that's okay. Too often, especially on social media, do we see people slighting somebody else. It's putting themselves out there because they've pronounced something wrong, or they've spelt something wrong, or they've used a word in an incorrect context. And it's just not on. You're shaming somebody for expressing themselves in a true, authentic way. If you don't like the way they express themselves, go somewhere else. You don't have to sit and watch it. You don't have to sit and read it. You don't have to sit and listen to it. Take yourself off somewhere else. Take yourself off the social media. The shaming has to stop. Everybody has the right to be their true, authentic self, to show up in the world as themselves. It's about learning to be compassionate and to be accepting, understanding that we are all interconnected. So if somebody is out there picking holes in you, what they're really doing is picking holes in themselves because they haven't done the inner work. They lack the confidence, and they have to boost their confidence by bitching about somebody else. And that's the bottom line. Now, if somebody came to you and said, I've been watching your channel and I've seen a few things that I feel you would benefit from, and they give constructive criticism, that is something very different. But offering an opinion that hasn't been asked for is pushing your energy unsolicited onto another. And very often in those moments there is shaming in that. And it's about learning to recognize these covert methods of shaming. It's about recognizing in yourself whether you've done it, because very often if it's been done to us as children on a subconscious level with no intention apart from the desire for a quiet house in my mother's case, then it's very likely that in some circumstances you're also a perpetrator. You're not only a victim, but you're also a perpetrator. And it's about recognizing that, being mindful enough to recognize that within yourselves and to work to change that. Think about situations where you're stuck, where you lack confidence, that is blocking your progress now. Take it back to childhood. Connect with the divine, connect with your team, allow yourself to be shown incidences, and quite honestly, to begin with, you probably won't fully understand the connection, but stay with it. Sit with it. Ask questions of yourself, of the divine, of your team, to begin to unravel so you can clearly see where that shaming comes from that blocks you. And do the healing on that for yourself. As I said right in the beginning, this is not about the blame game. This is about deeper understanding so that you can apply the healing, so that you can continue to move forward. So I hope that has helped. If you've liked the video, hit that like button. If you feel somebody would benefit from hearing this, please by all means share. If you're not yet subscribed, then hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will get notified when new videos go up. Until then, take care, beautiful souls.